Hello and welcome to our first 40 playthrough of Crusader Kings II. This is going to be playing through the tutorial scenario that's built into the game itself. Behold, the world as you know it, in the year of our savior, 1066. As you can tell, it is divided into distinct regions, counties, each controlled by some ruler or another. Crusader Kings II is a game about these rulers, their families, relations, intrigue, and power. Be a conqueror or a peaceful family father, and you will. As you will, but know that most other characters will lust after more land, more counties. Crusader Kings II is a real-time game. Close this window and unpause the game using the speed widget. Alright, so first we're going to turn down the music just a little bit. I don't think it's too bad. But you never know. I guess we'll find out together. Alright, so we're going to be playing through the tutorial. We are King Alfonso the VI of Lyon. And it has been... I think I looked at it, it's been like 6 years or something since I played this game. So a lot has changed. The final DLC has come out in that time. The game is basically complete. It might get a few patches, but no new major DLC is going to be coming out. That's right, it's an older Paradox game, so I have to use the old... There's no Wazid yet. Even then, I think they have it over on 64-bit, so it's not a bad-looking game at all. But I think it was released originally, 2012? Yeah, February 14th, 2012. So it was released almost 8 years ago, and yet has, over the years, built up such a following and such a large amount of new content that it's almost like Crusader Kings 2.0 or Crusader Kings 2. I mean, it's crazy. It's the Crusader Kings 3 has some huge shoes to fill, and I wish them luck, and I'm looking forward to it. So I'm glad we have a chance to jump back into some Crusader Kings 2. We're going to be playing through the tutorial because we are going to be taking on the Game of Thrones mod for our viewers elect over on twitch.tv/SirSquire, where you play a direct role in how those playthroughs unfold. But with that, it said just to unpause time and run things. We're going at the slowest speed, good. Let's start clicking on stuff, I guess. We have our... let's see. Ooh, features. Oh. This is you. Up in the left corner. Clicking the portrait will give you more information about King Alfonso VI and his family. You can also click on the crest next to the portrait to get information about your country. Click the portrait to find out more about your ruler and his family. Note that you are currently unmarried, and your heir is your brother, the King of Castile. Should you die at this point, you can keep playing as him, since he is of your dynasty. Yes. That means he would inherit Lyon and be king of 2 kingdoms. Got it. Alright. So this is King Alfonso the VI. King Alfonso Fernandez Yamena. Oh, and he has a... let's go. Wow. Alright, so if you click on that, it takes you right to his Wikipedia page. That's awesome. I knew that was already in the game, but I had forgotten about it, and it's still awesome. Alright, clicking any portrait will take you to the character view. This screen contains detailed information about a character, skills, traits, titles, and close relations. You can also select an ambition for your own character. The bottom half of the character view is dedicated to close relations. Vassals are feudal lords in fief to the selected character. The court tab lists the people at the court of the character. Pacts lists rulers and whom you have a diplomatic relation with, like an alliance. And the abroad tab Lists counties who are currently away for some reason. Courtiers, sorry. Every character in the game has an opinion of every other character. Tooltip for the opinion explains the reasons in detail. Computer-controlled characters will act in accordance with their opinions. The dynasty of the character is shown in the top right of the screen. A valid heir always has to be of your own dynasty. You should strive to expand your dynasty and make sure members hold as many titles as possible. Alright, some portraits have little symbols on them. A star means it is the character you currently play. A crown signifies your heir. And that little drop of blood means the character is of your dynasty. Alright, so here we have, this is you. Excellent. Oh man. Alright, so we are House Yamena. Let's click on that. This is your dynasty, this is the dynasty of your character. Some dynasties are more prestigious than others. Depending on the number and rank of all landed titles ever held by their members, living and dead, a fraction of the prestige of both the mother and father's dynasty is carried over to children born in wedlock. Spouses also get a fraction of each other's dynastic prestige when marrying. Alright, so this is us. We are Alfonso, the second eldest son of Fernando the Great. He was the king of Castile, Galicia, and Leon. And we are the king of Leon. So I guess our brother, King Sancho II de Castile. He is our El Hermano. Our younger brother, King Garcia, the second of Galicia. And we are King Alfonso VI of Leon. So our family owns this nice chunk of Spain, basically the heart of Christendom in Spain, as we see a lot of not Catholic-sounding names. But we'll get there, let's see. And our father himself was the third brother of King Anso the Great. Oh, a lot of greats. Ooh, Navarro. Are they in our family? King Anso IV of Navarro, your cousin. King of Navarro, heir to the county of Nájera. Alright, so yeah, these are some big families. Oh, I wonder... Ooh, the tree is broken on some of them. Oh, because they've joined the faith. Wow, that guy had a lot of kids. Jeez. Alright, then we've got... the Romero line of of Aragon. Are we related to them too? Your cousin, King Sancho of Aragon. Alright, so... Ooh, but he broke off, maybe. I wonder. Prince Garcia of Aragon. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know what the little broken branches mean yet. But let's go to the head of the dynasty. That'd be King Garcia, the second of Galicia. He's the head of our dynasty. He is 24 years old. We're 2 years older than him. We have a sister, Princess Elvira of Castile. So she's with King Sancho. And Princess Irica of Castile as well. Ah, she's a countess. She's the mayor. Alright, so this is awesome. And we can... Oh gosh, it goes all the way back. King Garcia of Navarra. Then more Navarra. And Navarra. The Great. King of Navarra. King of Navarra. Okay. So it looks like it was... And King of Aragon. So the last generation, our father's generation, really carved out a lot of land. Let's see if we can't go to the dynasty. There we go, yeah. So we have the Kingdom of Aragon. A very small kingdom of a county. The Kingdom of Navarre, not Navarre, Navarra. I can't roll my R's. And so our family controls all of this area of Spain. So basically almost all of Christendom inside Spain, except for Barcelona. It's held by the Duke. Duke of Barcelona, heir to the barony of Marissa. Alright. Good. So that's good to know that it's all in the family. So that is Alfonso. But let's look at the features. You are playing as a Castilian Catholic king. So we have no cultural effects. Or yes, we can. We can prepare campaigns to reconquer Iberia. The Reconquista. Feudal governments revolve around an oath between a liege and vassal. Feudal lords can only directly own so many holdings before they must start to rely on vassals, whose loyalty may vary. There are several succession laws to pick between, each with its own merits. The centralization law controls the maximum size of your domain and the number of direct vassals you can have. If you should convert to a religion in the Muslim group, your government form will change to Iqta. So we can hold castle, forts, and hospital holdings without penalties. We can hold tribal holdings without penalties for counties with your culture. We can build castle, city, temple, forts, and hospital holdings. We can... Now, is it a hospital, or is it like the hospitalers? We'll find out. You can revoke the titles from tribal government vassals of another religion without objections from other vassals. You can move capital within the same lifetime every 600 months. Wow, that is... Is that 30 years? 50 years. Aye. Tribal government vassals are not included in the vassal limit. Ooh, that's good. Can't grant kingdoms and empires to characters with a government from a different group. Alright, Catholicism is one of the oldest branches of Christianity, and one that has had the brightest and biggest impact on the history of Europe. The formal head of the religion is the Bishop of Rome, the Pope. Catholic bishops may pay taxes to the Pope rather than their secular liege. Catholic rulers can set up anti-popes. The Pope can excommunicate Catholic characters. The Pope can grant divorces. The Pope can grant the invasion casus belli. The Pope can grant claims on titles. The Pope can call for a crusade. Rulers can order adult unlanded courtiers to take the vows. There is always a Pope, landed or not. Ooh. Oh, we didn't have the option to change any of these. So let's see. Oh dear. There's a lot. Court size limit on. Great works on. Historical great works on. Hellenic revival on. Blood splatter on. Characters can get blood on them from time to time. You got red on you. Non-aggression pact faction block. Okay, martial headgear. Oh, yep. Holy Fury, Child of Destiny. Ooh. Pregnancy flavor. Oh. Reconquista, Northern Crusade, Children's Crusade, Fourth Crusade, Shepherd's Crusade, Crusader States, default. Alright, childhood focus alerts, close relatives. Grant independence, restricted. Default domain size, vassal limit, default, multiplayer third-party claims. Players can freely press the claims of other characters. Oh, that'd be interesting. Multiplayer invasions, can use all invasion casus belli freely. Multiplayer assassinations. Oh, that's cool, so that you have, yeah. So if we ever get to play this as a community plays, there are a lot of options that we can toggle. Alright, cultural title names. The names of titles may change depending on the ruling cultures. For example, Svielbard instead of Sweden. Cool. Titles named after dynasties. On. Many cultures name their titles after the ruling dynasty. Oh, Abbasids, Banavids. That's cool. Release prisoners after punishment. Alright. Way of life dueling, default. Way of life AI intrigue, AI seduction, assassination, only through plots. Regencies are on. Pagan reformation is allowed. Defensive attrition. Invaders suffer harsh attrition in the lands of many pagan religions if their military organization tech level is too low. Cool. The Old Gods provincial revolt strength, default. Provincial revolts normal. Range is on. Invitation to court, default. Vassal. So a lot of these I don't really know what they mean. Some of you might know, so let me know what you know. You are limited to a small proportion of theocracies among your vassals. Interesting. Vassal republics, we are limited to a small proportion of republics among your vassals. Iron Century story events, various stories surrounding the Iron Century. Would that be the bookmark? Does that happen once we get to that timeline? Time level? Or do you just have to start at that time bookmark? I don't know. I know we're after Charlemagne has happened, so we don't need to worry about that. Matrilineal marriages are on. Interfaith marriages are restricted. Adventurers are normal. Raiding, historical. Religious conversion, default. Cultural conversion, default. Horse lords, nomad stability is unstable. Upon succession of the Kagan, vassals of nomadic hordes have a chance to declare independence. The succeeding ruler may will have just cause to reclaim the land. De jure requirements, a lot of things are on default. Dynamic de jure drift, de jure assassination duration. Assimilation, well, no. Absurd events are on. Supernatural events are on. Gender equality is on the default, which means I think we have to try to we'd have to improve their stance. Defensive packs are on. Siege events are on. Siege assaults are on. Shattered retreat. Armies will try to retreat into friendly or otherwise safe territory. Retreating armies cannot be engaged by enemy forces. Movement speed and morale regain rate is increased for retreating armies. Army movement lock. When an army has moved over halfway into the country, the order will be locked. Ooh, that's interesting. You can fiddle around with that, I guess, from the start. On a non-tutorial playthrough. Very interesting. The Reapers do non-epidemic diseases, default. Turkic conquerors, historic. The Great Central Asian Turkic conquerors, Sabukidjen, Seljuk, and Timur will tend to rise in their historical time frames. Secret religious cults are default. Monks and mystics, devil worshippers. Devil worshippers will practice their foul magic across the world. Alright, let me turn the music down just a little bit more, just in case. If it sounds alright, it's better to have it a little bit too low, and you can always increase it later, rather than to have it way too high. Alright, so we have, let's see, we're almost done reading these off. This is new to me. I think the last time I played the game was like 2015, 14, 16. It's been a while. And we were able to pick up, I think we have all the major DLC now, thanks to the Lunar Sale. That happened. Alright, let's see. So yeah, Devil Worshippers, Jade Dragon, all new Casus Belli introduced in Jade Dragon can be used. Jade Dragon Border Dispute Wars, characters can, through spending piety and gold, start border disputes wars targeting single counties. I don't think we're going to have much to do with the Chinese, given that they are way over here and we are literally on the western point. Although that does mean that we're going to have other spicy things because we didn't get to choose if certain things are on or off, which means, yeah, we're about to see. Alright, so let's see. Jade Dragon, Chinese interactions within range. Chinese invasions, all. They will launch both tributary wars and major invasions. Chinese adventurers can spawn. Enclave independence is off. Independent rulers can have exclave independence. Disconnected land anywhere in the world. That's cool. Generate families. Most landed historical characters with no recorded family will have a spouse and up to 4 children generated for them upon starting a new game. This reduces the risk of an early game over. Oh, that's nice. And then, yeah. Sunset Invasion. Aztec Invasion. The Aztec Invasion will occur at the very earliest in the 13th century. Well, it's good to know that we have about 3.5 centuries. Because right now, well, no, we're in the 11th century right now, right? 10th? No. First, is it? No. We're in the 11th century. The latter half. Okay. 12. Oh. So we have like 200 years. 150 years. Oh dear. Something. We have time. But at the very earliest in the 13th century. So that's good to know. That 1200. Yeah, 144 years, 134 years at the earliest. And 234 years at the probably the latest. Bet that'll happen. Mongol invasion historical. The Mongol horde will invade between the years 1210 and 1218. Just in time for the Aztecs. Alright, then Reapers do minor epidemics can happen. They'll appear at a default rate. Major epidemics. The bubonic plague will appear at the earliest 200 years after the game has started, and might reappear 500 years after game start. After one major outbreak, the epidemic will become endemic. Oh, and that's all. Alright, cool. Awesome. Alright, well, let's look at the Kingdom of Lyon. We have a line of succession, all within the family. Ooh, alright. In the same screen, this one, you can also see your attributes and traits, which represent your skills and personality. Characters can also have an ambition, which represents their current short-term goal. Whenever an ambition is fulfilled, the character will get a reward, such as prestige or piety. Click on the Choose an Ambition button. Look at your ambitions and choose one. Got it. Alright, well, first let's look at our resources that we're going to be managing throughout the course of this tutorial playthrough. First we have our wealth. This is your personal wealth. Excellent. How much? Aha, good. Monthly balance. Ooh, very nice. I like it when it's green and going up. Next up we have prestige. Looks like that's going up as well. We are crowned by Pope Alexander II. We have a diplomacy skill. We have some baronies and counties and kingdoms. Some vassal baronies and counties. And technology, all increasing our monthly prestige. What does prestige do? Well, it is a measure of your success. It can be spent to carry out special actions. The prestige of each successive ruler you play is summed up and used to calculate your final score. Alright. Next up we have piety. That also is going up. We are cynical, but we were crowned by the Pope. We hunt apostates, as one does. We learn, and we are piety and technology. We are piety. We have vassal buildings. Alright. Piety is respected by the clergy, and especially the head of your church. It can be spent to petition the head of your church. Like prestige, it is added to your score on the death of a ruler. Ah, cool. Alright, then we have our domain size. Max domain formula, base 1. King rank, base 3. Ruler Steward bonus, 0. Gallican succession, +1. Alright, 30%, giving us +1. So, we can have 4, and that's what we have. Your domain consists of all your personal holdings, landed holdings, castles, cities, and temples. If your domain is unacceptably big, if you know what I mean, you will start to take taxation penalties, and your vassals will grow resentful. Cool. Alright, then we have our vassal limit, which is awesomely high. So we can have 31, and we have 4 currently. The base is 1, the king rank makes your base 15, our diplomacy bonus gives us +2, and then laws, another +14. Very nice. Then finally we have the realm size. This is the total number of holdings, castles, cities, and churches, under the control of you and all your vassals. That's the crazy part. That's 22. Like, this... an area that's like 2 counties in EU4, maybe at most, maybe 3, and although it has a lot in, like, Imperator Rome would be the only equivalent where you can actually zoom in and have even smaller areas. But like here, oh man, just tons. And we haven't even got to that part yet. Holy moly. Alright, so we want to look at our stats and personality. So our traits. These are all the traits of your character. Traits are a defining feature of every character, representing their abilities, condition, and personality. So currently we are an elusive shadow. which has mastered the art of intrigue and should make a perfect spy master, as well as an ideal mentor for prospective schemers. We were crowned by the Pope. The ruler was anointed, third time's the charm, by the Vicar of Christ himself. This is uncontrovertible proof of his divine right to rule. Then we are patient, or patientia, fifth of the seventh virtues and the opposite of wrath. Alright, patient characters are just a little bit better at almost everything. Then deceitful, patiently deceitful. This character has a manipulative and dishonest nature. An excellent trait for spy masters, as long as they remain loyal. Very nice. Cynical. He is a cynical unbeliever, disliked by the clergy, but good at intrigue. And finally, envious. This character is envious, the sixth deadly sin, invidia. Well, we do have a lot of characters with a lot of relatives with a lot of land. Alright. There's the papacy. Okay, cool. Alright, so we've learned about our character in that way. Oh no, we have our skills. Okay, so we have state diplomacy, or we have our own diplomacy skill. Then we gain state instead. Alright, you will play as a succession of characters from the same dynasty, down the ages. In this learning scenario, you will be safe from attack and internal strife until your ruler turns 40 years old. He is 26, so we are safe from internal strife and invasion, external invasion, for 14 years. When this happens, Alfonso will die. Normally, though, characters die of old age, disease, or violence. And the learning scenario will end. When he dies, you can keep playing a normal game as his heir. Feel free to navigate through the game as you wish. But note that if you do not follow the learning scenario instructions, you might miss out on further help. Aha. Alright, so we're definitely going to follow the learning scenario instructions. Got it. Good. Okay. So we know that he's going to die. He is ticking down. Alright, so we have diplomacy, which affects other characters' opinions of you and is important for the tasks given to the Chancellor. Then we have state marshal. Important for generals, also affects the outcome of tasks given to the marshal. And land organization, alright, monthly prestige, land organization. Then we have stewardship, which controls your tax income and is the primary attribute of your steward. National tax modifier. Intrigue skill is the primary attribute of the spy master. High intrigue improves the chances of uncovering plots and carrying out skullduggery like assassination. Our personal intrigue score is insane. Then state learning. And learning is the primary attribute of the court chaplain and affects the rate of technological innovation. Finally, we have personal combat skill, a measure of how well you perform in duels against other characters, where it is compared to the skill of your opponent in order to decide the outcome. A high skill will also help you survive when leading an army into battle. Ooh. The elusive shadow, yes. Good. So we might be good at personal combat and assassinating people. Those could go hand in hand. Alright. Meanwhile, the main currencies in your game are wealth, prestige, and piety. Wealth is, of course, the monetary currency. You can call it gold if you like, or ducats, and increases primarily through taxation. Prestige is a measure of your success, and prestige as a ruler and your piety shows how respected you are by the clergy. The prestige and piety of all your characters will be added to your score, determining your final rank. The game ends. Got it. Combat modifier. Ooh. During the learning scenario, you will get messages like this to help you figure out what you can do next. You are, however, free to click around and do things on your own. Whenever you run out of things to do, it might be helpful to check out the alerts that appear at the top of your screen. Are these alerts? Oh, yes they are. Oh my. Alright, we have 3 weak claims that can be pressed. The following weak claims can be pressed. County of Guardia, Sancha de Sousa. Kingdom of Castile, Princess Urica of Castile. Kingdom of Galicia, Princess Urica of Castile. Are these weak claims that we can press on the behalf of other people? King Garcia II of Galicia. Oh, that's our brother. Aha. Was that diplomacy? Where? Siblings, here we go. Alright, how do I... Aha. Right-clicking on someone. Alright. This view lists all of the actions you can take towards another character. Well, actually, let's just see what the... let's let the scenario run its course. I mean, I keep wanting to use Wazid. Sort of let it do its stuff. What's going on over there, though? Barada. At war with Amir Ahmed of the Hudid Emirate in Castilian Holy War for Aragon. That'd be fun to join up, right? Title view. Oh god, we're not there yet. Alright. Here we go. Depending on what you are currently doing, there are several map modes to suit your needs. The default map mode is the Terrain map mode. Another helpful map mode is the Independent Realms map mode, showing the borders of the different realms in the world. Feel free to check out the different map modes in the lower right corner to see what they show. Got it. Alright, so we've got Terrain, kind of your usual paradox fare of seeing the terrain. Oh, that's cool, yeah. So we have we just have Saharan and almost sub-Saharan Africa. Then we have India. All the way out there. The Siberian wastes. And then, of course, mainly Europe. Or it is Crusader Kings II. Navigable rivers, all that fun stuff. Alright, next up we have the realms, where we can see everyone's realms. So the Holy Roman Empire, very strong, powerful, massive, holding in Central Europe from Italy through Germany. Then we have France, sort of probably the second largest power in Europe. England, Norway, Sweden. And something that's very noticeable, the Byzantine Empire. Yes. Ooh, we got the Seljuk Turks. And of course, the Kievan Rus. Are these all together, or is it this just... I think it's just this guy. King Isaiaslav of Kievan Rus. Chief Vesvold of Boroviki. Yeah, so many names, so many people. Ooh, the Komania, Alania, Xia, Liao. So yeah, we have the Song Empire, Song China. So much going on. Alright, next we have diplomatic relations. So we can see that we got something going on. I guess maybe these are claims? Casus Belli, Holy War for the Badajoz. Extort tribute, establish tributary state. Cool. Yeah, we have claims on those areas. Okay, so these are all, we could declare war on these people. Excellent. Now we go to religion. Here we see the Catholic world. So we can even see where there is still a large schism in Christianity between the Orthodox and the Catholics. Catholicism has yet to become the wholly dominant branch of Christianity, although they are the dominant branch in Western Europe. Very western parts of Western Europe. In Iberia, the Reconquista has yet to happen in full force, and so Islam is probably the dominant religion. Well, never mind. I mean, basically it splits the peninsula, technically, but Islamic rule over the majority of the population seems like the case. And then let's see, you got African religions, Central Africa, ooh, cool. Jain, Hindu, Buddhism, Sunni, Tengri, Germanic, Romuva, Slavic. So yeah, Northern Europe still has many pagan faiths. We go to culture, Castilian, Andalusian, French, German, Italian, Anglo-Saxon, Irish, Coco, Greek, yeah, Bedouin, Persian. Alright. Then the economy. Oh. Looks like if you're near the coasts, you're doing better than if you're not. And of course the Isle and Silk Roads. What? Oh. Trans-Saharan trade route. Ah, cool. Alright, so we have Trans-Saharan trade that comes out of Africa. Then we have the Silk Roads. Silk Road, Silk Road, Silk Road, Silk Road. Silk Road. That flows from east to west, making these areas the wealthiest in the world. Look at that. Oh, look at those wealth. Look at that wealth. I don't even know how to... Oh, man. Yeah, okay, so you have these direct... Look at these. Direct trade routes. Potential trade posts. Some countries have the potential for trade due to their strategic position on the trade route. The owner of this province may build a trade post to reap the great economic benefits. So, if you can get to the tips of these, then wealth from other areas are going to be flowing to you. Oh, very nice. Alright, and we have our de jure duchies, de jure kingdoms, de jure empires. Revolt risks. First dynasties, the Capet, I'm going to be butchering all these. Saliang, Dukas, Seljuk, Rarkad, yeah, alright. Of course, opinions, how everyone likes us or not likes us. Does not like us. Direct vassals. Ooh, trade zones, interesting. I don't know what's going on. Aha. So yeah, you have the Silk Road, boom, trade zone. Sahara, boom, trade zone. Looks like Genoa sort of set up. So Genoa and Pisa are kind of tussling. Different trades. So that's cool. That I think republics help make trade zones. It looks like, so that's cool. Venice over here. So that's nice. So have them as your vassals, and you're going to be happy. Of course, we have the Gilden Hussen. Nope, I don't even know. Something Baltic trade. Cool. And of course, governments. We are very feudal. And you have some imperial and Ikta tribal. But for the most part, feudalism is the most prevalent and pervasive of the government types. All right, then we have no. Can we see what everyone else's is? I guess no one has defensive pacts. No one wants allies. And epidemics. Oh, slow fever. Ah, some slow fever going on over here. Cool. No hospital. Interesting. Alright, typhoid fever, or slow fever, is loose in this county. Alright, so yeah, we'll learn more about that and other things in episode 2 of this tutorial playthrough. That then once we hit the end of the tutorial, will then come its own fleshed out playthrough, depending on interactivity and all that regular stuff. So if you have enjoyed this meandering tutorial so far, then don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to catch all our Squad action. Also, don't forget to go over to twitch.tv/SirSquire to find our live playthroughs where you play a direct role in how each playthrough unfolds. Link in the description. And this is just a sort of preparatory playthrough to get me up to speed when we then jump into Game of Thrones. And you can jump over to our Discord and vote on which of the time bookmarks within the Game of Thrones universe you'd want us to start at. You've got the Aegon's Conquests, Robert's Rebellions, and the War of the Five Kings. Those are the big three. So, hope to see you over there. And I'll see you all in episode 2 of this playthrough.